Hey everyone! Today, we're diving into the fifth day of the Philadelphia Eagles training camp, where the defensive line really stepped up and dominated the offensive line. It's been a long camp, and the hits keep coming. Let's break down what happened and why it matters. First off, Jalen Carter was a force to be reckoned with. He had a two-play sequence that showcased his versatility. Carter got a tackle for loss, then he finger-wagged like Jalen Mills, and on the next play, he clubbed Tyler Steen and got free for a sack. Later, he rushed outside Steen and into Markel Bell, who was filling in at RT. That allowed Nolan Smith to loop inside unblocked for a sack. Carter's been a beast these first 5 practices, and it's clear he's a key player for the defense. Nolan Smith also had a nice play in coverage. The offense ran a misdirection play to the left, trying to sneak Tank Bigsby into open spaces on the right, but Smith wasn't fooled. He was all over Bigsby, forcing Hurts to throw the ball at Bigsby's feet. That's the kind of play that shows Smith's awareness and ability to read the offense. Moro Ojomo was in the backfield a lot, getting the best of Landon Dickerson and some second stringers. He's picked up where he left off last year, and it looks like he's a key player for the defense this season. Byron Young, the fourth interior lineman, is another player to watch. He's going to get playing time this season and could be a starter if Carter, Davis, or Ojomo go down. He had a quick pressure against the Eagles' starting O-line, so he's definitely a player to keep an eye on. The linebackers also got in on the action. Zach Bond and Jihad Campbell both had sacks blitzing off the edge. That's the kind of play that shows the depth and talent of the Eagles' linebacker core. And let's not forget Jordan Davis, who was occupying multiple blockers, but giving up no ground on a lot of the run stops. He's a key player for the defense, and it looks like he's going to be a big part of the Eagles' success this season. Now, let's talk about the offensive line. They had a tough day, to say the least. They got beaten a lot, and there seemed to be some miscommunications and mental mistakes. On one play, Fred Johnson was watching Cooper DeJean, who was lining up as if he was going to blitz, but at the snap, DeJean bailed into coverage. With Johnson preoccupied, Jalix Hunt ran inside of him unblocked for an easy sack. It was a parade of flags all day, with the O-line getting called for holds and dead ball pre-snap infractions. Jalen Hurts had his best day of camp on Monday, but Tuesday was tougher. He didn't get a lot of help, especially with Devonta Smith missing practice with a hamstring injury. Hurts threw a deep ball to Quez Watkins that Watkins should have been able to run under for a long gain, but he couldn't make the play. He also threw a strike to a wide-open Will Shipley on a wheel route, but Shipley dropped it. That was the worst drop of camp, by far. On another deep ball, this time to Hollywood Brown, the ball sailed a bit past its target and was intercepted by Michael Carter. Carter caught the ball initially, but it popped up in the air when he hit the ground, and he was able to concentrate and catch the ball again on its way down. Even when he got some help, the result wasn't always there. For example, Darius Cooper hauled in a Hurts throw with one hand in the back of the end zone but wasn't able to get 2 feet inbounds. However, it wasn't all bad from Hurts and the offense. One positive takeaway is that Hurts has quickly built some rapport with Dontayvion Wicks. Wicks had a really nice route on an outbreaker that beat Rick Woolen, and Hurts got it to him in rhythm. Wicks also beat Cooper DeJean near the front corner of the end zone. Hurts also had his best throw of the day on a curl route to Wicks, who was being covered by Quinton Mitchell. Hurts delivered that pass away from Mitchell to a perfect spot near Wicks' outside shoulder. Wicks was able to shield off Mitchell and make the reception. I like what I've seen from Wicks as a blocker as well. He had a physical block on Jalix Hunt, coming across the formation on a misdirection play. And on kick coverage, he absolute ran over Darius Cooper, who was trying to block him. Cooper went to ground hard, and Michael Clay liked what he saw from Latu. One guy who I would have on the 53-man roster if cut downs were today is Cameron Latu. He had a physical block on Jalix Hunt, coming across the formation on a misdirection play. And on kick coverage, he absolute ran over Darius Cooper, who was trying to block him. Cooper went to ground hard, and Michael Clay liked what he saw from Latu. Latu has some versatility. He can be a blocking tight end, a fullback, and he's a good special teamer. Another under-the-radar undrafted player who has gotten my attention so far this summer is Joshua Weru. In one-on-ones, Weru ran around the corner on Moro Ojomo, and although I'd have given the win on the rep to Ojomo, Weru's speed was obvious. And then late in the day, Weru tried a speed-to-power bull rush on an enormous Holland Pierce. He knocked Pierce back and got a hand on Cole Payton. The Eagles have something to work with there. Finally, let's talk about Jake Elliott, who's coming off of 2 consecutive down years. He was July 7th on his kicks today, which is a good sign. Elliott's first 6 kicks on Tuesday were all during one kicking session. That last 44-yarder was a situational play where the offense got tackled inbounds and had to rush the FG unit onto the field with the clock ticking down. Good day for Jake. In conclusion, the Eagles' defensive line has been a force to be reckoned with, and it looks like they're going to be a key part of the team's success this season. The offensive line had a tough day, but it's clear that they're working hard to improve. Hurts and the offense have had their ups and downs, but it looks like they're building some rapport with key players like Wicks. And with players like Latu and Weru, the Eagles have some depth and talent that could be key to their